2018 has been a great year for TV. What exactly are the best shows of the year, in my opinion? Tune in to find out. What's up, guys, and welcome to the web's first must-see comic and nerd culture show. Welcome to the Comic Universe. I'm Dr. J. I've got a PhD in nerd culture and a ton of holiday spirit. And I'm here with a brand new video for you guys riding solo. And this is one of our end of the year big list. Wow, I cannot believe the year has already gone by. We had just started this channel this year and we've already grown this much, built such a awesome community. Thanks to all of you guys for sticking around and supporting us. We really appreciate it. As you guys know, I am the resident TV guru on the team. I watch a ton of TV. I review a ton of TV on my main channel. And a lot of great TV has come out this year. I mean, wow, it has been such a great year to be a TV fan. Even with, quote-unquote cable being on its way out, everybody cutting the cord and just sticking to streaming. Streaming alone has had a number of just knock it out of the park hits. And it was really hard to craft this top 10 in particular, but I managed to do it. Basically, I broke it down to kind of like 4 criteria: performances, enjoyment, performances, replay value, and innovativeness. Like, what exactly was like? What are the most interesting and well made shows? So, first off, I want to give a bunch of honorable mentions to some great shows that were out there this year. And if you see me looking down at my phone, it's because I want to make sure I get my list correct. So my honorable mentions, I've got sorry folks, there are only 2 technically there are only 2 comic related shows on here. I know we're a comic channel and only 2 shows on this list. Official list have made my top 10 of the year. Not saying the comic shows have been bad, but in terms of just great TV, at least in my subjective opinion, only 2 have made the cut based on my criteria. Now, obviously, you can have a different list and share with me your list in the comments down below, as always. But let's get the honorable mentions out of the way. Of course, the Marvel Netflix shows all deserve an honorable mention. The criteria for this list obviously are any seasons that came out, any seasons of any show that came out in the year 2018. So yeah, obviously Punisher, Luke Cage season 2, Jessica Jones season 2, Daredevil season 3, Iron Fist season 2. Yes, 2 of those are canceled, and we're all pretty much expecting Punisher and Jessica Jones to go too. There is a rumor going around that they're possibly going to be saved by Hulu. Fingers crossed on that one. But just because they didn't make this list does not mean they're not enjoyable. I loved every single one of them. Yes, even Iron Fist season 2. I thought Iron Fist season 2 was a huge improvement. It was awesome. Daredevil season 3 was probably one of the best out of the bunch. It's neck and neck for me with Jessica Jones season 2, mostly because Jessica Jones is my favorite character out of the Defenders bunch. Obviously, the first season of Punisher was great, and the second season has not come out yet as of recording this video, so I can't really comment on that one yet. But absolutely loved it. But unfortunately, they did not make the cut for this list. And speaking of stuff that did not make the cut for this list, there is one Arrowverse show on here. One. But Arrow, Supergirl, but shout out to the other Arrowverse shows that didn't make it. I don't want to, I don't want to give it away already by process of elimination, even though I already mentioned 2 of them. But shout out to the Arrowverse shows. Honestly, these new seasons for the most part, have been big improvements from the lackluster ones from last year. Arrow has improved a lot, in my personal opinion. Supergirl has improved a tremendous amount compared to Season 3. Flash has improved a tremendous amount compared to Season 3. All great stuff. Black Lightning has still delivered a pretty decent Season 2. In my opinion, not quite as good as Season 1, but still a very good effort and a very good show. Really enjoy it. Of course, I'm a big CW guy, to be honest with you. Got to give a shout out to Riverdale. Riverdale's great. You got to have your over-the-top, teen soap drama in there, especially for me. I love Riverdale. So I got to give that one a shout out. Shout out to Legacies. Legacies gets an honorable mention as well. It's a new show that came out in the fall that I've really enjoyed. It is the spin-off of the originals, starring Klaus and Haley's daughter Hope. Really fun. It's really good being in that world again. It gives me a lot of fun, cool Buffy vibes, and I really dig it. So there's that as well. And there are a ton of other Netflix shows that did not make the cut because I did not want to just spam this list with Netflix originals. There are a bunch of Hulu shows that didn't make the cut because I didn't want to spam the list with Hulu originals as well. Same with Amazon. Shout out to Jack Ryan. Great first season. The Tick. Great first season. Plenty of other great shows, many more. If there are any shows that I did not mention that you think were great and deserve to be on the top 10 and you recommend to me, I'm always down for TV recommendations, so hit me in the comments or hit us up on social media at Comic Universe HQ or my personal Twitter at Mr. J's Reviews. So without further ado, let's 6 minutes in, let's get into this top 10. Alright, so I'm going to be a little bit more quick about it. So my number 10 spot goes to Superstore Season 4. So, gotta start it off with a comedy. I absolutely love Superstore. I'm a big fan of comedies, workplace comedies. This one is a Superstore, if you guys don't know, is a workplace comedy about, a group of people that basically work in a Walmart type, superstore called Cloud9. It stars America Ferrera. And it is absolutely hilarious. I am telling you guys, this entire season, I have just constantly been laughing. It is just so great. They tackle a lot of really interesting topics and issues. They even do a little bit of, biting satire and social commentary without being too preachy or PC. And they actually do an episode addressing PC culture, which I thought was really hilarious. It's a really, really funny show, and I know some of you guys are going to be like, okay, you mentioned Superstore, but what about The Good Place? The Good Place is amazing. I have not caught up on the current season, so it wouldn't be fair for me to include The Good Place on this list if I had, since I'm not caught up on it. But I do love The Good Place and highly recommend it if you're in the mood for a good comedy. So my number 9 spot is the sole Arrowverse show on my top 10 list. That is, of course, Legends of Tomorrow Season 4. That's right. I'm saying it here and now. Get at me. Legends of Tomorrow is the best Arrowverse show on the CW. Especially this season with them dealing with all the magic and having John Constantine on the team. It's amazing. They finally stopped trying to take themselves too seriously and decided to just say, screw it, let's have fun. And have fun they do. It is just such a blast. I enjoy it every single week. There's so many good quotes you can pull from Legends of Tomorrow. So many good moments. And it has so much heart to it. I really, really enjoy that show. It is one of my favorites. It's my favorite Arrowverse show this year of the crop of Arrowverse shows, and that is why it deserves that number 9 spot on my top 10 list. Now we're moving on to number 8. Yeah, we're sticking strong with the comedies in this first 3 spots. My number 8 spot goes to, of course, Atlanta Season 2. So, and Atlanta is honestly one of those ones that might not be for everybody. It's very much kind of a dry humor, surrealist type of comedy. Like, it has a lot of the, satire and social commentary, but also it's like very abstract and hidden in a lot of different things. And sometimes you gotta watch the episode a couple times and be like, yo, what the fuck just happened? What is going on? And like when you realize, it's just like, oh shit, and then you just like, you're weak. And like some of the stuff that happens is just so crazy. It's like, yo, I cannot believe they just did that. And how it is so well written with just the jokes, the timing, all the performances. It's shot super well. It has some of the best, just in general, single episodes of the season. If you've seen the episode of Atlanta Season 2, Teddy Perkins, that was amazing. It was a mind blower. I love the Fubu episode of Atlanta Season 2 as well. The barbershop one. So many great ones. We got a lot of good development for Al as a character in Atlanta Season 2. We got some good, we got a solo adventure with my man Darius. Lakeith Stanfield is hilarious. Donald Glover is just killing it this year. And Atlanta is another entry into why this man is so awesome. So Atlanta Season 2 definitely makes the cut. As my number 8 on my top 10 best of TV this year. Number 7, I'm going with a Hulu original series, the only Hulu original series on this list. I'm going to go with The Handmaid's Tale Season 2. Now, The Handmaid's Tale Season 2 is based off of the hit book by Margaret Atwood, best-selling book, novel by Margaret Atwood, where it's like a dystopian future where basically America is reverts to this kind of religious oligarchy, theocracy type thing, and basically women are only used a good chunk of the population is infertile, and the fertile women are used as these handmaidens, and they're kind of basically used as glorified sex slaves to pump out babies and maintain the population. And it's such an interesting take on like a society that honestly, one wrong move and we're not that far away from it. I guess that's what's so scary about it, and why you can't look away when you're watching it, despite the fact that like some of the scenes will make you really uncomfortable. But man, you want to talk about a show that is well shot and well acted. My God, the performances from Elizabeth Moss, Alexis Bledel, and Samira Wiley, and the rest of that cast. You want to talk about like a show that deserves every Emmy it got? You talk about The Handmaid's Tale. Wow, like this show moved me. Like I reviewed it throughout the entirety of season 2, and there was legit an episode that got me to cry on camera when I was talking about it in a review. The fact that you can have a show that can stir up these kind of feelings and emotions in you, and also just kind of make you think about society as a whole, it's kind of like, it's just crazy. That's why I got to give a big, shout out to The Handmaid's Tale. It is like an amazing show that I highly recommend. It's so well acted, so well done. Great show. Moving on to number 6, just outside of the top 5. Now, this one is more of like a personal preference for me. Obviously, this is my list, my top 5, my opinion. Number 6 goes to On My Block Season 1, which is a teen drama. Not exactly a teen drama, but it is a coming-of-age show starring, 4 teenagers about to enter high school, and they go to LA, and they live in LA, and they have to deal with, not only just high school, but gang violence, gang politics, growing up in this environment, also just trying to live a normal life, but maybe sometimes a normal life just isn't in the cards for you. It's a really, really well done show, and I love a good coming of age story with a lot, and it has so many good twists and turns. The character dynamics are really well done. It is such a well put together show, super relatable, diverse cast. Absolutely love it. And as someone who is of Latino descent, I gotta rep when there's some really dope representation out there. So yeah, On My Block is dope as hell. Definitely recommend it if you like stuff like dope, like Stranger Things, anything that that deals with like a nice coming of age story with just really, really interesting characters. I highly recommend On My Block. It is one of my favorites. I've gone back to that show several times and it still gets me. And man, that cliffhanger for season 1, boy, I am so glad that they got a season 2. And I cannot wait for that. Now we are in the top 5, ladies and gentlemen. The number 5 spot goes to the other comic book related show on this list, Wynonna Earp Season 3. Yeah, folks, I'm an Earper and I'm proud of it. I absolutely love this show. Wynonna Earp is, of course, a show based off of the Image comic series of the same name. It's on Sci-Fi. It's about a direct descendant of the legendary gunslinger Wyatt Earp, killing the resurrected demons of outlaws that Wyatt killed. It's kind of like a recurring curse that the heir has to eliminate all, I believe it's like 50 or 500 outlaws that Wyatt killed with his magic gun Peacemaker. And basically it's supernatural but set in like a with a Wild West tinge to it, and I really, really dig it. Personally, it's one of my favorite shows. I absolutely love it. Great action, amazing dialogue, great acting. I love every single member of the cast. It is fantastic. If you like Supernatural, you will definitely love Wynonna Earp. Alright, now we're moving on to my number 4 spot. My number 4 spot goes to the only Amazon Prime original series on this list, and that is The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel Season 2. Now, Season 1 was like my favorite comedy of 2017. So the fact that Season 2 made it so high on this list just shows you how consistent this is. Of course, it was created and written by Amy Sherman-Palladino and Daniel Sherman. They are great. They're such a great team. And once again, this continues the journey of Midge Maisel as she is like, cutting her teeth as a female comic, and also just kind of, working her way in the world as a single woman in the 1950s. The dialogue is amazing. It's super witty. It's clever. It's so much fun to watch. I have some problems here and there with some of the character choices, but that's just more of nitpicks for me. But overall, this is a show that I could not stop laughing in. Oh my god, it is hilarious. Absolutely love it. If you need a good laugh, definitely, if you have a Prime subscription, I highly recommend checking out The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel Season 1 and 2. But Season 2 definitely has earned its spot in my top 5 as the number 4 show. Now, moving on to number 3, we're moving across the pond to a BBC original series. And that is, of course, Killing Eve, starring Sandra Oh from Grey's Anatomy fame. Killing Eve is an amazing show. It is basically a show about an Interpol agent who is tracking down this assassin. And it's almost a Batman Joker type dynamic where she is just obsessively trying to find him. It's this almost Ahab and the white whale dynamic, and I love the interplay between both our assassin antagonist and our detective protagonist. Her constantly trying to follow the trail, find different leads, chase her down all across Europe. It is just so intense, and I love the predatory nature of the antagonist assassin chick, how she just loves to toy and fuck with the detective, Eve. It's an amazing, suspenseful action thriller detective story. It is phenomenal. If you want to talk about something that's well shot, well acted, all around amazing, check out Killing Eve. And, it's high praise, but that is why Killing Eve is in my number 3 spot. I cannot wait for season 2. And now in my number 2 spot is an HBO original series, the only HBO entry that we have on this list. It is actually an HBO limited series, so it's only 1 season, so it's just a show, no season attached to the title here. It's called Sharp Objects, and it's based off of a book, and it stars Amy Adams. Yeah, that's right, Lois Lane herself, and it is an amazing show. Essentially, it is a story about a reporter who returns to her returns to her small town. She comes from a family of old money from this small town, and she returns to her hometown after a series of murders of children start to happen, and she's back to basically write a story on it. And basically she is trying to actually find out who the killer is, what their motive is, and basically, craft a story together. And this actually shows, Amy Adams, who played Lois Lane, doing investigative journalism shit, but also it is this deep kind of psychological thriller, because we get to see the psychological scars and different traumatic events in Camille's life, Amy Adams' character's life, that kind of shaped her into who she is, and what exactly this town has done to her. And without spoiling anything, I guarantee to you, I will bet money, no one watching this will be able to guess who the killer is in Sharp Objects without Googling it. Because, my God, I did not see the ending coming whatsoever. That blew my freaking mind, and not many shows can surprise me. But man, did that show surprise me so much, which is why it definitely deserves that number 2 spot. And I highly, 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 highly recommend you check out this show if you haven't. The top 3 especially are a must-see. I feel like the top 5 in general are must-sees, but the top 3 are like, you gotta watch this, you guys. If you call yourself a TV fan, you gotta watch these shows. Now, last but certainly not least, in the number 1 spot, I gotta give it to a Netflix original. There are only 2 Netflix originals on this list, and this made it to my number 1 spot. I gotta give it to The Haunting of the Hill House. I did a review for it over on my channel, just talking about and I also did a separate video, kind of just talking about a possibility for season 2 and kind of just my impressions on the show itself. Oh wow! First off, horror TV is never this good. It's either cheap, cheesy, or hokey, or you just expect it to be a ton of just jump scares. Haunting of the Hill House, it has everything. It is so well acted. You get so many good emotional performances. You get so invested in the family. It's well shot. If you pay attention to every shot in the back, you just pause it at any time in any episode, look at a frame, and you will see a ghost, a spirit, or some kind of creepy shit in the background. That much attention to detail went into making this show. And my God, like this isn't a show that is just full of jump scares, but when the scares happen, man, they are genuinely freaking scary. And they don't just do traditional horror or like the house haunting that we've seen a million times. We actually get to see something that I've always been interested in with this kind of stuff. How does this type of shit actually affect the family? What are the effects after you get out of there? Does it still stick with you? And you get to see that here. And it's amazing. It is the best show I've seen on Netflix all year. And the best show I feel like I've seen in general all year. And if you haven't seen that show and you claim to love all things horror, you're doing yourself a disservice by not watching Haunting of the Hill House. And that is why it deserves the #1 spot on my top 10 best of TV 2018. But alright, you guys, that pretty much wraps up the list. I'm sorry for such a long video, but I wanted to get all my honorable mentions out. Like I said, this was such a great year for TV. I had a feeling this was going to be a long one, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your list in the comments down below. What are your top 10 favorite shows of the year in terms of TV? Don't forget to leave this video a like to let me know you enjoyed it. Hulk smash that like button like you mean it, and be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you, if you haven't already, so you can become one of Earth's mighty subscribers today. And we really appreciate it. Thank you for sticking with us throughout this year. You know, if you're a long-time subscriber, if you're brand new to the channel, welcome and thank you for joining the universe. Follow all our social medias in the description down below. Join the universe today. We've got it all: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Definitely follow us up there. But until next time, guys, this has been Jay from Mysterious Reviews for the Comic Universe. And like I always say, once a comic geek, I was a comic geek. And once a TV fan, I was a TV fan. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, y'all. Hopefully we'll see you guys next year in the universe. Peace.